What's up everybody, it's Max Digital here where we break down technology, and in this video we have the Oppo Find X3 Pro versus the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra 5G, two powerful ultra spec'd out Android phones. Let's see what we find when we compare them. So one thing about these phones is that the X3 Pro is from Oppo and it's an international launch phone that will not be found in the US, while the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra 5G, that phone is sold all around the world and heavily in the US. The biggest takeaway from these devices is that they're just super spec'd out. They have all the specs that you could possibly want in an Android phone, but which one is better, which one is should be more popular, what features do they have that are the same, and which features do they have that are different, and which fatal flaws do these phones have. Well, first things first, both of these are 5G phones. The S21 Ultra 5G, that one will work pretty much anywhere in the world. You can get 5G. Can't say the same about the Oppo Find X3 Pro since it's not being sold in the US, and it probably will not come to the US unless you get it imported. It might not work with all the carriers 5G here in the US if you were to get it imported. So I'm just gonna have to give the big win right there for the Ultra 5G in that department. Another thing to note is it's going to be difficult to get the Find X3 Pro, especially at a lower price. If you're in the United States and you want to get it imported, it's going to cost a lot of money. You got to go to different websites. Here in the US, usually get it on Amazon, eBay, or the carrier stores, or a prepaid store, or just get it unlocked from the company. Instead, the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra 5G, that one could be found anywhere. It is no problem to get. So availability is on the Samsung Galaxy side. It's going to be very difficult to find the Find X3 Pro here in the United States. So another big win for the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra 5G. Next, the overall sizes of these devices. The Oppo phone has a height of 6.4 inches, while the Samsung Galaxy S21 5G Ultra is 6.5 inches. The width is very similar. They're close to 3 inches. The Oppo is 2.9, while the Ultra 5G is 2.98. Thinness is also almost the same, 0.33 inches on the Oppo, 0.35 on the Samsung. The weight is a little bit different because the Oppo is 6.81 ounces, which is less than the 8 ounces on the Galaxy Ultra. So the Galaxy Ultra is a hefty half a pound, while the Oppo is more subdued in weight. For the build quality, both of these have a great build quality. They have the Gorilla Glass front, Gorilla Glass 5 on the Oppo, Gorilla Glass Victus on the Galaxy Ultra S21, and a glass back. So just by having a glass back automatically makes it a premium feel. One thing about the Oppo is that since it's an international phone that's not sold in the US, it's usually going to be a dual SIM phone, and this one has it with a nano SIM card slot and an eSIM. The Samsung phone has a nano SIM card slot and an eSIM, but it also matters on what region you get it in, so it might be a little bit different. The IP water resistance is the same. They're both IP68 dust and water resistant, and both are rated for 1.5 meters underwater for 30 minutes. So for the displays, the Oppo has a 6.7 inch LTPO AMOLED display with 120 Hz refresh rate, while the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra 5G, that one has a little bit bigger at 6.8 inches. Dynamic AMOLED display, also at 120 Hz refresh rate. The Oppo has 89% screen to body ratio, same thing on the Samsung Galaxy Ultra. For the resolution, the Oppo has 1440 by 3216. Samsung also very close at 1440 by 3200 pixels. PPI on the Apple is 525, PPI on the Samsung is 515. So you're getting some very quality displays here, very nice to your eye. Gorilla Glass 5 on the Apple, Gorilla Glass Victus on the Samsung. So you're getting a more durable screen on the Samsung. For the software, you're getting Android 11 on both of these devices, except the Apple has ColorOS skin, while the Samsung is getting Samsung One UI skin on top. Both of these offer their own flavors and twist on Android, but there's no doubt that both of these devices will have their own features in their own software, and it's going to be a personal preference. And with these phones here, the main thing about these super big flagships is the processor. That usually dictates how powerful these phones can be, and these phones don't disappoint because they both are rocking a Qualcomm Snapdragon 888, the latest and greatest in a Android phone. So both are tied with the beefy processor. For the internal storage, the Apple comes in with a super impressive baseline. It has 256 gigs of internal storage, while the Samsung Galaxy Ultra, that one comes in at 128 gigs. Still impressive, regular, but nothing crazy like the Apple. The Apple has pretty much destroyed the storage category when it comes to these two flagships. But for they do not come with micro SD card slots, and justifiably, because I don't think anybody can mess around with 256 gigs of storage, and even at 128 there's no micro SD card slot, so it doesn't really matter. The Apple starts off at 8 gigs of RAM, while the Ultra destroys it by having 12 gigs of RAM. But regardless, it's going to be overkill with that 12 gigs of RAM. You could also jack it up to 16 gigs after that, also 12 gigs on the Apple. But by having a baseline of 8 gigabytes of RAM, that kind of doesn't make it a flagship quality right there. So the win right here is for the Samsung. So for the important standout feature is the cameras. Let's go ahead and talk about the Apple real quick. It has a 4-camera setup. We have a 50 megapixel main, 13 megapixel telephoto zoom, 50 megapixel ultra wide, and a measly 3 megapixel macro camera. The Samsung has a 108 megapixel main camera, 10 megapixel periscope telephoto lens, 10 megapixel regular telephoto lens, and a 12 megapixel ultra wide. So the biggest takeaway here from these two devices is that these are just awesome cameras, but there's differences, such as that macro doesn't feel like it belongs on the Apple. That kind of just, they threw that in there, no one's going to use it. And the 50 megapixel ultra wide is just plain awesome. It kind of destroys the 12 megapixel ultra wide on the Samsung. But you got that 108 megapixel main camera, which just destroys the 50 megapixel on the Apple. I know it's overkill, but this is what you're paying for. These crazy specs on the camera. The Apple shoots only up to 4K video, while the Ultra Samsung has 8K video. So that's another overkill feature that you're going to be paying for. But in short, both of these are going to take awesome pictures, awesome videos, no problem. For the selfie, the Apple has a 32 megapixel camera, while the Samsung Galaxy Ultra has a 40 megapixel main camera for the selfie. Unfortunately, the Apple only shoots a 1080p video on the selfie, while you get 4K on the Samsung. So it looks like the overall camera package, I'm gonna have to give it to the Samsung. You're getting stereo speakers on both of these phones, and neither of these phones have a headphone jack, so you have to move on for wireless and embrace it if you really want to rock these phones. Both of these are rocking 5.2 Bluetooth, a very standard feature, but this is how you're going to connect your smartwatch and your wearables and your wireless headphones, and both of these devices will connect pretty much to any device with no problem. So you have NFC on both of these devices, and that's mostly used for payment systems. They both also have USB Type-C for the charging port, and it's the same port used for other devices, a very underrated feature. This is the same port used on MacBooks, Chromebooks, Windows PCs, iPads, tablets, other Android phones, headphones, for example. All types of devices are using USB Type-C right now. Next thing is how do you unlock these devices, and both of them have under the display a fingerprint reader. These are very contemporary new features, very standard in flagships now, and both are very reliable. The Samsung also has Samsung's DeX, so it's a way where you can use your phone as a desktop operating system. Pretty cool. Now, when it comes to powering these bad boy phones, these super uber powerful phones, it's going to be the battery is a very important feature of a phone. And the Oppo has a 4,500 milliamp battery. It's okay. But the Samsung Galaxy Ultra S21, that one has a 5,000 milliamp battery. It fits the device way better. Both of these will probably get you through most of the day, especially the 5,000 milliamp battery on the Samsung. If you've managed to kill this phone by browsing and video and music listening all day, they both offer fast charging. 65 watt on the Oppo, so you can charge 40% in 10 minutes, which is crazy fast. And you get 25 watt fast charging on the Samsung, so I'm gonna have to give it to Oppo on the fast charging right there. You have fast wireless charging on Oppo at 30 watts, so 100% in 80 minutes. You have fast wireless charging at 15 watts on the Samsung. Both also offer reverse wireless charging. So they pretty much got all the charging covered, except that the Oppo has a smaller battery than the Samsung. So the last thing, but the most important thing on this list for specs is going to be the price and availability. Obviously, these are very flagship level devices. And for me, I can't get over the price of the Find X3 Pro. Since here in the US, you will not be able to get this. If you get it imported, this phone is going to cost you, I was hoping it was going to cost less than $1,000 since it's an international phone. But no, sadly, this is going to be like over $1,300 if you convert it from the international prices. And there's a lot of features that this just doesn't compete with the Samsung Galaxy Ultra 5G, which just has everything in it. The Ultra 5G, that one has a price tag of approximately $1,200. So at least the price and availability is there for the Samsung. It's available all over the world, postpaid, prepaid. You can get this unlocked. You can get it with the carriers. The X3 Pro, the only real difference that it has that'll differentiate is that dual SIM unlocked. But who knows if the 5G bands will work in the US. But all in all, the more superior device is obviously going to be the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra 5G. The price, the camera system is probably going to be better because it has that 108 impressive main camera setup. The selfie, for example, only shoots up to 1080p on the Oppo, while you get 4K, more standard on flagships with the Samsung. You just get all types of whatever the Oppo has, the Samsung just does it better in every sense. The only big thing that you could come away with the Oppo is the internal built-in storage is 256. Other than that, maybe the 50 megapixel ultra wide camera is pretty impressive. But other than that, I don't see any reason this phone should be bought for like $1,300 US when you can get the Ultra for not way less cheaper, but you can find them more readily available and for cheaper, and you don't have to like import it from somewhere else. But all in all, guys, pick up the Ultra 5G. I was kind of disappointed in the Oppo Find X3 Pro with the hype that it got. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.